but to open up a Democratic primary, you would have had black women, who were the strongest voting bloc for Kamala Harris, be highly upset if it was not Kamala Harris. You would have had someone starting with zero infrastructure. I hear your concern, and I'm not saying that primaries are not important and open primaries are important.
Joe Biden was very disrespectful last night to President Barack Hussein Obama. You saw that. Barack Hussein Obama. Remember, Rush Limbaugh would always do that. He'd do Barack Hussein Obama.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. That's not acceptable.
It's already irritating me. We already seen this.
That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
And I just wonder for anybody who heard that, like what they thought of that.
I was deeply offended. And it felt like a moment where it's like, you N-words better get in line and do what we say. And it felt like him as the czar of the Democratic Party coming down to say, go get these N-words in line. And the general tone of it was disgusting. It was abhorrent. I don't respect it. I didn't like nothing about it.
Can the idea of pluralism work in the current moment? And for that matter, is the concept even worth saving?
What?
I believe the answer is yes. I am convinced that if we...
What did this nigga say?
I don't know what pluralism is.
I don't even know what he's talking about, but it's just difficult listening to him.
The pluralism.
After the first one, when he was lecturing everybody. But did y'all hear what the very first dude said?
It sounds special.
He basically said like they put Kamala Harris in to not piss off they black people voters.
Yeah.
That's literally what he said. He said, well, if we didn't put her in, the most loyal Democrat voting bloc would have been pissed off that it's not
crazy.
her. I'm like, whoa.
Pluralism is the idea that a variety of groups, ideas, or principles can coexist and be accepted.
He talking about that liberal nonsense.
So it's basically saying, so you can be around someone who thinks votes different than you.
Well,
and we know
how they get.
He goes to the black men and says, y'all are misogynists and have issues if y'all don't vote for Kamala Harris. But then turn around and says, we should have pluralism. But you just right there expressed.
Oh, he's finna self-project. He's finna self-project.
That's exactly, they self-project a lot.
It seems like they just put a black man up there to say a whole bunch of bullshit and it sounds smart to black people back then. And black people just voted for him. That's just what happened, really. That's what I think happened. Well, he's a nigga and he sounds smarter than me, so let me put him in office.
Wow.
Can the idea of pluralism work in the current moment? And for that matter, is the concept even worth saving? I believe the answer is yes. I am convinced that if we want democracy as we understand it to survive, then we're all going to have to work towards a renewed commitment to pluralist principles. Because the alternative is what we've seen here in the United States and in many democracies around the globe. Not just more gridlock, not just public cynicism, but an increasing willingness on the part of politicians and their followers to violate democratic norms, to do anything they can to get their way, to use the power of the state to target critics and journalists and political rivals, and to even resort to violence in order to gain and hold on to power. There are going to be times, potentially, when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a permanent grip on power.
Oh, wow.
Either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces or using the judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents. And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure.
Wow.
That's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm.
Obama, what the?
So hold on.
I saw this on X a few days ago.
Hold on.
He's such a hypocrite.
Didn't we seen them try to take Donald Trump off the ballot?
Yes.
Yep.
Do we see the DOJ being used against him as a political opponent?
Yes.
Did we see this man get almost assassinated?
Hell
Did
yeah.
we see one side get censored?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Did
We've
we
seen it
see
all.
files of everything get exposed? So like,
that's about 5 boxes
That we
of
just
things
checked.
that he just said.
You want to know? You want to know something I think that's interesting? All this crazy stuff that Democrats talk, they always highlight all the negative things that are going on and blame it on Republicans. But Democrats have been in power the last 12 of the last 16 years. So I'm like, how can we blame a 4-year window on all the things that y'all had 12 years and could have fixed?
no, hold on.
Just saying.
Skip past all
Like,
of that.
let's just saying, like, y'all really the ones that's causing these problems and blaming everybody else.
Y'all wanted people that was not American citizens to vote.
To live amongst us, to let our tax dollars pay for them to live.
Y'all would have been in full control
That would have been bad.
for centuries.
They would have gained hella new voters. You know what's crazy? Actually, I think that would have actually, like, since they were like having millions of like illegals in different Democrat states, that would have gave each state more electoral college votes as well.
They said that was the whole goal.
That's crazy.
So like,
I think that it was probably black people back then that like doing what we do, really see this stuff and research this stuff, that were probably going insane.
There definitely were.
it probably was going crazy.
We in 2025 now, so it's a little different. People can get exposed. 'Cause, hey, I'm gonna be real.
Well, we got videos now.
Look though, when I was in the
you know,
hood,
a lot
I
of us
said-
ain't hitting this bit.
Yeah, when I was in the hood with my brother, bro, and him and his friends was arguing about, Barack and everybody, Trump and Kamala, and they said that the dude told me the ad worked for him, but they also start arguing about Michelle being the man. And he was all like, man, bro, you seen that video like me, bro? You seen that video like me? I really think that Michelle Obama is a man. And he looked at him and said, brother, you really think that, man? And I'm seeing the hood argue about this now. So I think the internet has woke this up. But I just think about the Republicans back then, the black Republicans that was probably going insane hearing the shit that he say. Well, it's probably worse now, though. Because this is...
They showed their hand too
I think
bad.
it was worse then because think about it.
No,
Even
they
the
showed-
Boondocks.
Nah, I'd say right now it's worse.
Obama.
Some people know.
A lot of people we saw, this was the low. It's not worse now. It's statistically proven. In the election, this was the lowest that the black vote has ever been for the Democratic Party. So it's
how many
definitely not
years,
worse
though?
Ever of all time.
Yeah.
Actually?
Yes.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Yes.
All
Wow.
time is crazy.
We knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So this is like it was
Internet.
still high, but it was the lowest it's ever been though. You see what I'm
Elon.
saying? So it's definitely getting better. It
Elon.
definitely is. And I ain't gonna lie, back then I couldn't tell you. I didn't know nobody. Like I wasn't political. I was a kid.
Bro.
So, but I definitely knew if you was black, you was supposed to vote for
If
Obama.
Michelle Obama is a man or not, but think about like people
She's
probably
not.
look. I'm just saying though. Look,
2,200.
think about how people are arguing about that now. Like I've just never seen people
That's a Republican point.
arguing for Trump and the
Yeah.
Republicans.
Oh yeah, I
now.
know. That's why I said
the fact
it's
that that's
different than it
happening.
is. That there's everyone knows there's a red wave. We saw the election. Remember the arrows of where people were, and then they are now, and they were all leaning to the right.
When common sense kick in,
It is common
and this
sense.
and
That's
all
why
it
it
is
doesn't
in
take-
front of
it
your
doesn't
head.
take a lot
When you
of-
really start thinking, and like when them goddamn gears get to turning in some people's heads,
The hamsters start running on them
But
wheels.
you know,
What-
it makes you think.
I'm gonna be
on a
real. When
different
he
side,
talks,
bro.
bro, it makes you want to listen. But when you like hear what he's saying, it's a bunch of bullshit. But the way his tone is, it makes you think like,
I think.
wow.
Well, I think a lot of reason why he has so much credibility. He was a 2-term president, so people are gonna automatically listen
But
to what
why?
he says.
But why?
Bro, because he got voted in twice.
Bro,
He
but
won the
had to
popular
have-
vote twice.
He had to have like a lot of like
Who did he go
supporters.
against? John McCain.
John McCain and Mitt Romney.
Yeah, man, Romney.
But still though, he
know who the hell
people
he
gonna
is,
listen to
though.
him. He has like a grip on the Democrat Party and the voters. Like
he is.
I mean,
His
that's,
first
and
black
I gotta keep it 100. Like he's also one of the reasons why people even voted for Joe Biden. He was Obama's VP. People were thinking we're gonna get Obama again.
He got Osama out of there.
Yeah, he did.
Hey, give him that. Yeah, give him that.
Hey, look, man, I'm just saying that what he's saying though, I didn't know it just sounds so woke, bro. Cause like my religion
I
and
don't-
my morals can't allow me to be whatever he said.
I don't
pluralism.
really think that all that stuff was all that crazy. The pluralism
is
part wasn't
good.
that crazy.
They are not.
They're not
both
being
exist.
that. They're
I
not
didn't think
being
the
that
pluralism. I didn't think that
all
was
you
that
have to do
crazy.
to exercise pluralism is what we do. There's people in our lives
Be
who
open to
don't
ideas.
vote and think the same way. Yeah,
We
it's
still
not
cool
even-
with them.
It's not even being open to them. It's just coexisting with them.
Yeah.
Vibing with, still living around and treating them as regular.
I mean, but again, naturally, people are just gonna think differently. So I don't understand why pluralism is something they're making it seem like it's just so out of reach.
Yeah.
I think when we operate in everyday life, like if you just go outside and go interact with people, you realize most people, they don't really care.
I feel like he was talking about us being open to different ideas like transgenderism.
No, that's what he is talking about. So but then
he's calling us not that.
He is, and that's the problem. That's the problem because
So
they are not that at all.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
People don't care.
They are self-projected. Yeah. He got on there and said, "Y'all need to do these things that they're literally not
like
doing."
when Trump was in office, we still seen Pride Month in every city.
He's gonna say that is because we're willing to take something away, like the some of the abortion stances, and they're willing to add. So he's basically saying that we're not willing to add.
What are we not?
Like the whole part. Okay, conservatives want to like kind of get rid of stuff or keep stuff the same, and they want to add on stuff like these LGBTQ and all these different organizations.
Yeah, so that's how they're using the word pluralism.
So he's trying to say that we're not willing to add.
I see.
I guess.
But if you tell black men that if they don't vote how they're supposed to vote, and then you have a problem with that, then therefore you're not also exercising that same pluralism. Yeah. You're supposed to have everyone else exercising.
That's an excellent point.
He's basically saying like not even us voting for Kamala and not being open to the fact of having a woman president is we're not exercising pluralism.
Yes. But they're not exercising because
that's true.
You should be able to vote for whoever you feel like voting for.
Yeah.
And we should be able to.
If you don't want to, bro, I still vote you.
So that's why it's crazy. It's like he the head slave master of the guilt.
Do you agree that Obama and Pelosi did not want Harris?
I know they didn't.
Oh, wow.
It's not. I have a lot of friends in Obama world, and actually, I'm friends with Speaker Pelosi, and I spoke with her before I actually went on air to encourage President Biden to step aside. And I touched base with her, Cant, before I did that.
And what did she tell you?
It's not a matter of conjecture for me. I know they didn't.
I appreciate that. What did she tell you at that time?
Well, she said it was fine that I went on air to encourage President Biden to step down. It was July 21st when I went on Fox News Sunday, and I said it was time for him to step down and pass the mantle to the next generation. It was necessary. It became clear that he's no longer able to affect.
Asian lady or who?
Yeah. Well, she must be.
No, she's the finance lady.
Bro, but
it says mega donor.
No, the finance lady was a different Asian lady.
I think that's her friend that told her something.
What she's saying?
Oh no, maybe she's saying the mega donor.
I think she is the mega donor.
Yeah, she is.
Because everything they're saying, they're quoting it as what she said.
At the bottom. Yeah.
So like, who is this lady?
Well, maybe
she's the finance lady.
Yeah, maybe the mega donor.
It's not the same lady, bro.
This is her.
That's her.
This is the one that dropped the F-bomb?
Yes.
Yes. What Asian lady, brother? Look at her. This is her.
That is her. Yeah, that's
my
the
fault.
same.
That's what I'm
Y'all.
She clearly looks the same.
I didn't say that.
She clearly looks like
I didn't say that.
Democrat finance lady that was exposing.
That's the same lady.
This is the lady that exposed them for being bankrupt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the same lady. That's why I'm confused.
She's telling the story
I didn't
about
realize
her
that.
friend.
Yeah.
Y'all so funny, bro. Y'all see that ain't her. Finance lady. I ain't that racist, goddamn.
It's not racist, bro. It's not racist to say they look the same, bro. They do, bro. It's not racist to say that. I'm sorry. Y'all look the same. Oh, I'm racist. Shit. Y'all some liberals.
Hey, all black people don't look the same. I could tell a black. Hey, I know.
But they kind of do sometimes. Then why do niggas always say you look like a different?
And I said it was time for him to step down and pass the mantle to the next generation. It was necessary. It became clear that he's no longer able to effectively litigate the case against President Biden, against Trump. So, and Obama and Pelosi were both hoping for a primary instead of a coronation, so to speak.
Who do you think they were hoping for?
I don't think Pelosi was hoping for anyone in particular, or not that I know of. I do know that Obama was carefully vetting Mark Kelly, the senator from Arizona. I know there were other names on his list. I'm not saying that Kamala Harris was necessarily at the top of the list, but he was definitely considering other candidates. I don't think she was ruled out. I just think that everyone is, a lot of people, the chieftains of the party, were hoping for a lightning round, a lightning primary. And President Biden essentially preempted that by issuing his endorsement 30 minutes after he dropped out. I don't think anyone saw that coming. We did not see that coming. I think a lot of people anticipated that he might have stepped aside, but no one anticipated the twofer that we got that day.
I think they were an absolute mess. I think that what they did during this election against Donald Trump was nothing short of pathetic. And they have to really, really go back to the drawing board and look in the mirror and take a long, hard look at who they are and whether or not they are truly the representatives of the people, because right now they're not. The Democratic Party for decades has been seen as somebody that was connected to the working class. Somehow, some way during the Trump campaign, the Republicans stole that from them. And what happens is that, too much hypocrisy is going on, too much leaning towards the extreme left. America, as I think is the case with most of the world, are predominantly centrist. You're centrist, you're center left or you're center right, which means that you might have your proclivities, you might have your tendencies, you might have your preferences, but ultimately you want everybody to get along and you want to be able to talk with one another, communicate with one another, conduct business with one another, engage in compromising, etc. And unfortunately, we didn't see that from the Democratic Party. They complained about it from the right. Then when they got hold of power, they leaned to the extreme left, started engaging in a bunch of nonsense where you're operating on the fringes. The Democratic Party put themselves in that position because the reason, in my opinion, why Trump really won the election is because as chaotic and as divisive as he may be, he was considered closer to normalcy than what the left was forcing us to inhale, if you can believe that, in the United States. And so when that happened, and you saw America stand up, and you saw, even though he might have lost New York and California, he didn't get 50% of the popular vote, he still won the popular vote, he still won the electoral college vote. There were blacks, there were Latinos, there were women, and of course white folks, all increasing in their numbers in terms of supporting him compared to what they did in 2020. That is the ultimate indictment against the Democratic Party. And then they tried to guilt us into voting for them by saying, oh, misogyny must be it. You're not voting for her because she's a woman. That made no sense. They voted for Hillary in 2016. She won the popular vote in the United States. Where was the women issue then? Stop it. You lost because you didn't, and I'm not talking about Kamala Harris, I'm talking about the Democratic Party. You lost because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. And as a result, you alienated the American public and turned them against you. You brought it on yourself.
He cooked,
Hey,
man.
y'all.
I think that was a phenomenal statement he just made. I'm not gonna lie.
He voted for Trump, bro.
I ain't gonna say that.
I mean,
he's center left. He's center left.
But you gotta realize, even if he didn't vote for Trump, I just think like the fact that he is
reasonable,
like giving a very nuanced take and logical argument on the current political climate.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was very refreshing to hear, because a lot of times people, Trump racist, we're doomed, but then he was like, nah, like y'all really did this to yourself. This shit was terrible.
Well, maybe ESPN coming in there and say, Steven, man, I think you could do it, bro. It's all right, bro. You in there, so
are you sure?
We getting caught up with a lot of problems right now. So
go ahead. He's trying to sign a new deal with them, so he
probably gonna be on CNN.
He's trying to get a new deal. So watch. What if he get the new deal and then come out and say, "I voted for Trump"?
Hey, you might get fired on the spot.
He said on the No podcast he voted for Kamala.
He did.
He did say that.
Maybe coming into 2025, guys, it's gonna be normal to just mention Trump's name.
It is getting there.
So hopefully that's where it gets, man.
A lot of people don't normalize Trump. Don't normalize Trump. Well, he is the president. So what choice do we have?